Hi, so the first stop in Vienna, our little Christmas markets tour, is the one at Schönbrunn in front of the Imperial Castle, lit up very beautifully in all Habsburg yellow, this iconic yellow color. And it is in a full circle almost, in that main square there, by a big Christmas tree, nativity scene here, and lots of shops and stands and lots of punch to drinks to choose from. And you can get there with U4, Underground Line 4, exit the stop called Schönbrunn. Doesn't get any easier than that. And yeah, so this is really great. Nice, big, tasteful Christmas tree, not too many decorations. As far as safety, COVID vaccination is being checked at every entry point. That is not a problem. Majestic castle here, beautiful view, and not too commercialized. Here are these guys, ancient advent calendar.
Jawohl, bitte sehr. Ja, it's a video. Ja, also enjoy. Prost. Prost, was haben wir da? Ja, enjoy.
And so what I like about this market, a lot of the offerings are from different regions in Austria, and they feel pretty genuine. A lot of hand-manufactured goods, no imports, and that is really nice to see. And even though it's probably less people than normal, it was still a good amount of people, and it wasn't just about the punch, although quite a bit. And look at these snow balls there, they're really awesome, and lots of things for Christmas to buy that you probably would not find somewhere else. And there's tons of different punches. Raspberry punch, honey punch, Empress Sissy punch, what else? Eggnog punch. I mean, there's so many, it seems to be out of control in that regard. But it's nice, people are really having a good time. You're standing on the cobblestone. It may get cold. It was like 22 degrees, 23 degrees. Here's the nativity scene. If you get closer, right underneath the big Christmas tree. Yeah, so there's a lot of gems to look out for. And of course, the punch will keep you warm. And you rent the cup, you get your money back if you return it, or you can buy it and keep it. And so therefore there's less waste. Keep your cup for the night. I say mug, not cup, I'm sorry. And yeah, so they stretch all around and each stand is different. And that is really nice. I enjoyed roasted potatoes. They were really nice. And you also get chestnuts. That is a classic. Maroni und Erdäpfel, or Kartoffel as the Germans call it. And then you walk along. I was a little bit careful not to film too many faces, but there's so much good gingerbread also. Christmas decorations, of course. And yep, lots of people. This was about, I would say, 8 p.m.-ish or so. Stays open quite long.
1888.
Oh yeah, and so this is one of my favorite. This is not the famous Perker Lebkuchen, but this is since 1888. So they have a tradition as well, Reszczynski, I believe. And onward we go to the big Christkindlmarkt, the one at Rathaus at City Hall, across the street from Burgtheater, the National Theater, and Café Landmann. The vibe here is, of course, a bit more glorious, but this year, less people, a lot less, because I believe they told people you also have to have a negative COVID test plus vaccination. That turned away a lot of people, but this is perfect because normally it would be a stampede, too busy, 10,000 people a few years ago, and this is much more enjoyable. Sure that the business people who have the stands don't agree with me here, but from a tourist point of view, go check it out. You'll have a private experience almost, like in the good old days, perhaps, just that in the good old days didn't have LED lights. And yeah, very peaceful. The cars, the traffic, everything just feeds into that vibe. They have a giant Ferris wheel. It's right in front of City Hall with the big, big Christmas tree. That is the traditional number one Christmas market in Vienna. And the other Christmas markets kind of came later. So most adults who grew up probably refer to this market here as the Christkindlmarkt. And so go in there. There's tons of COVID checkpoints at every entry point, so it's a much more controlled experience than in the past. And not sad at all, it's enjoyable. They do what they can. So, Frohe Weihnachten, Merry Christmas. That's what that means. Frohes Fest means kind of like happy festivity or happy holidays is how I would translate it. But decorations are really beautiful. I walked around it, so I'll show you some more footage here. See, the line is not bad at all to get in. And here's this theater, beautifully lit. Burgtheater, the big theater where the big, grand stuff happens. Yeah. Beautiful. It's a bit different than the one at Schönbrunn. It's less intimate in the sense of it seems to be bigger manufacturers here. All right, and so coming up here, City Hall, where the trees there used to be, or maybe still is, but not during the pandemic, always events for kids inside City Hall. And my dad used to take me there, and it was really nice. Like gingerbread baking and, making toys and things like that. So that would happen inside City Hall. Away we are to the Christkindlmarkt at Stephansdom. So this is Graben here, and a lot of Christmas trees are being sold right here in the center of Vienna, prime real estate, where you would normally have cafes and shops and where people walk. And there's a lot of Christmas trees being sold. That is kind of nice to see because it's Christmas in action. And in Austria or many parts of Europe, the tree goes up on the 24th. So up until the 24th, trees are being sold. It's nice. People usually get real trees. And the fake trees, that is very rare to see. And they also like to put real candles on it, and which means a lot of trees catch fire. It's a classic with of course, people putting out the fires and firefighters coming out. Well, I'm joking about it, but it is true. That's part of the Christmas charm. So on we go. And very good vibe here in Vienna, even though there's less because of COVID and all of that, but that makes it enjoyable because that's still a lot. It was so much before all the time. You could barely move. Now you take away 70%. It just feels the right amount. Here we approach St. Stephen's Cathedral, the crown jewel of Vienna, at an incredible height of 180 meters, once the tallest in Europe. Not anymore. Fewer stands are around the cathedral. And so you have everything there, just less of everything. I would say this is probably here more for daytime. And there's also less punch, just I think one punch option. But yeah, surrounded by all the stores. So it again feels very festive. And this is just one of many Christkindlmarkets, Christ Child markets, baby Jesus markets, if you really translate it to American English or British English. So Christmas markets that are in Vienna, that you can find in Vienna. It has exploded. There were not as many in the past. So this guy already getting drunk during the daytime, but that is okay. Here we go. And then I have one more thing for you that I will show you that is also Vienna classic and not necessarily tied to Christmas, even though they put the reindeer antlers on. Can you guess what it is? Right on the right-hand side there of St. Stephen's. Well, there they are. The horse carriages the fiaker, we call them fiaker, Wiener fiaker. They all have a license plate and they're licensed, and it's long family tradition business. You get into some very nice carriages. And yeah, they're waiting there for you if you're into that kind of thing. I've never done it, but I wouldn't mind. Horses seem to be in a good mood because maybe they have to work less and they don't mind the cold that much. Yeah, and that, if you hear the hooves on the cobblestone through the city of Vienna, that is very nice. And there's many, many more circulating the city. And here we are. Merry Christmas from Austria. Travel safe. Be safe.